Okay, so there's crazy reasons and there are crazy reasons. And people get into DEBT debt for crazy reasons. I'm sorry. Sometimes not crazy reasons, sometimes certain things. Can't get into it, all of it right now. Can't cram jam every reason into one little show. But to me, this reason tops them all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, the Save Money More with Jan channel. I have heard about everything. I have absolutely heard about everything. First of all, let's get into cars. Cars cost people a lot of money. We need them. We do. Okay. All right. But in my opinion, if you can't outright buy one and buy one, even if it's a little bit of a beater, well, that's better than paying and paying and paying and paying and paying and paying and paying some more. Can you imagine? I saw a show where someone was analyzing someone else's budget, and the questions that were asked was a reference to that person's mode of transportation, and the other person knows how expensive the monthly payments. They were on like a 48-month plan type thing, whatever. So that's 4 years basically. You're not going to believe the reason why this person wanted this specific car, complete with all the extra bells and whistles for its time. Notice what I'm saying here, for its time. That person was like about 40, maybe 42, 45 years old, wanting to look cool. Why? I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Then that person's other problems financially fell into the rabbit hole of DEBT, not just with, that car, the high interest, and all the bad stuff that goes along with certain situations. You want to be cool at 42? Tell me, is there something wrong with this picture? Okay, bad enough peer pressure when, kids are in high school and all that, go through that thing that, everybody wants to like assimilate to be cool or whatever and all that kind of stuff. 42 to 45 years old to want to be cool. Get yourself into the rabbit hole of debt. Do you really think, does this gentleman really think? Apparently, the person did. In my mind's eye, I just can't believe, I can't accept it. I cannot accept somebody that older to feel the need to be cool. No, 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 no. And by the way, cars depreciate in value the minute you take it off the lot. We all know that, right? And what might be cool in XYZ year, right, that you're paying for 48 months of, 48 months, the last time I checked, equals 4 years. Uh, 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 uh. So in 4 years, when you're still paying for the cool car, is that car still cool? I mean, even if you really abide by the rules of coolness, cool people like everything new, trendy, the latest bells and whistles. What a horrible thing to have to live up to. You want to know something? I mean, I'm making jest of a very sad situation. I don't like to make jest out of it. To be totally honest with you, at the end of the day, and after I watched that show, I literally felt very badly for that person. I said to myself, you're going to that great of a length at your age, at that age, which to me now, some people don't want to hear it. When you're in your 40s, you're in your middle age. What? I know, I know. But I'm young. Yeah, you got a lot of great years ahead of you. But here's the way I looked at it. Once you're 45, this is why I applied middle age in my own life. Once I hit 45, I said I am officially middle age. How do I do that? Because I multiplied it by two. Okay? 45 times two, the last time I checked, was 90. So, smack dab in the middle of 90 was 45. So I officially called myself middle age. All right, some people may agree with that, some people may not, whatever. And anyway, age is just a number. But to be so concerned about making a major purchase, which wasn't even a wise purchase, it was a purchase that was attached with high interest. I mean, that person, that cool person, was straddled for a 4 year commitment and better make sure you pay it up and all this and all that. Wow. Well, I mean, at what age should we put the pom poms down? I mean, I'm sorry to report this, but I even know some people that I know, that I actually know, that like they just can't seem to get out of that like I can't explain it. They're not entirely in that like high school mentality, but a lot of them, many times personal people that I know, they're like that high school thing, just like never quit. Like, wow, I mean, like, I'm sorry. To me, you just like it's over, it's done, it's your part of your past, but you don't live in the past. You see where I'm going with that? But getting back to this gentleman, can you imagine? I mean, straddled down and then falling into the because that situation fell into the rabbit hole of DEBT in general with other things. It affected everything else in that gentleman's life. And that is actually really sad. So, the bottom line of this video today is more or less about thinking. Probably at that point, it was more like a subconscious thing. And only because they were chatting at that particular person's show and whatever. And it boiled down to the person wanted to be cool. But the person really probably wanted to be, and I'm no psychotherapist, okay? I may be related to a couple, but I am not one. I'm just Jan that likes to talk a lot on on this platform. But I could say this just from logic. What that person probably really wanted was acceptance. Does that sound about right? Okay, I get that. Who doesn't want to be, everybody wants to be accepted. All right. That's what I believe, in my opinion. But to go into the rabbit hole of DEBT debt that will affect you the rest of your life. So, of course, the person gave, specific steps to, pull themselves out of it. Not easy. Not easy. I mean, I'm glad the person went for help. I'm glad that person, a gentleman, acknowledged he had a problem, which that to me is like really half the battle won. When a person acknowledges they have a problem. But just think about this. So here's what I'm trying to say. Let me try to break this down into smaller bites, okay? The next time one, whomever that is, maybe somebody listening, whatever, is inclined to first of all, separate your wants from your needs, right? But if a person is already struggling financially, that person was probably struggling financially in the first place, that they needed to go through that finance route with the car and all that. But the reason behind certain purchases, ask yourself, is this really something I need? Is this really something I want? And maybe the answer is it's just something you want, right? But then peel back the next layer and say, however, why is this thing something that I want? Will this serve me well in a couple of years? Or is it just a passing phase? This is why many people, and I do agree with this, by the way, Tip. I totally agree with it. When you're in that kind of like mindset where you're not sure, take a break, put that thing in your imaginary cart, mental cart in your mind's eye for 30 days. Come back and revisit that thought in 30 days. Can I tell you something? More often than not, the person says, "Do I really want that? Do I really wanted to get that?" And you lived with that 30 days and you realize, I really, 9 out of 10 times. If in doubt, don't. See? To me, those are just frugal tools from the invisible frugal toolbox that they're timeless. They always work. They always seem to work. So I don't know. Now, on a completely different note, has zero to do with what I just talked about. So this morning, I went to look up you ever make a cheesecake from the recipe inside the Kraft Philadelphia cream cheese? By the way, I don't make an extra dime for saying it, but it is the best. The block cream cheese from Philadelphia Company, to me, it hits every note of flavor that I like. I know it could be a little expensive, but when you find it on sale, if that's something you like, stock up on it. But I was trying to just find the recipe. For some reason, it was not in the box. Normally, it's on the inside flap of the box. By the way, take good advantage of recipes you find behind boxes, bags, pouches. You'd be shocked and amazed. These are like little hidden gems, of recipes that you could get your hands on right then and there. So I always thought I don't know, somehow some of the recipes might have been misinterpreted. One of them said to get 4 of those blocks of those cheese. I always thought it was 2. I don't know, but anyway, I'll continue to investigate to get the right one online, of course. But so I would just want to mention something in reference to that. So one day in the past, I was making a cheesecake, and sometimes cream cheese, even if you use a stainless steel mixing bowl, it could be a little bit of a challenge to get it out a little bit. So what I did, I took a nonstick spray. I sprayed my mixing bowl with that, and it made cleanup of that cream cheese, that excessive cream cheese. I wiped it out first, but it made the cleanup so much easier. So I just thought, I'd pass along that to you. Well, anyway, thanks so much for being here. We went all the way from a man wanting to be cool to buy a car that got him into deep debt, right? To cheesecake. Well, that's what one could do when they have a channel called the Save Money and More with Jan Channel. I guess that's an and more part of it. Listen, I want to wish everybody a wonderful upcoming weekend, but that doesn't stop you, excuse the cough, that doesn't stop any listener from coming back tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the morning. Because now that I no longer do 2 a day, I want to do slightly longer videos, but I want them to be daily at 5 o'clock. No more guesswork. Because when I was doing the 2 a day for the Monday through Friday, it put the weekends in jeopardy and in somewhat of a question, which means that some weekends I would skip over it. Other weekends, maybe I would do an upload. This is different. The current goal is to provide, of course, there goes the bird clock. Thank you. I hear it loudly. You don't hear it hardly at all. But to me, it could be a little. Anyway, the current goal is to upload daily, slightly longer videos, but still consistently at 5 o'clock. How many of you are liking this new schedule change? The consistent every single day, you could count on at 5 o'clock, which means 365 days of the year, 5 a.m. upload. Okay? You will get your video. I may record it in advance, but you will still get it on the day that when you wake up, there's the video. I would say that that's a pretty darn good deal. If I enjoy a channel or a content creator, and I know that every morning there's definitely 1 or 2 they upload every morning without fail. See, that's the thing. Consistency, okay? You can count on 5 a.m., okay? Uploads daily. That means Saturday. That means Sunday as well. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I love to spread some sort of a message. Hopefully that'll help at least 1 or 2 persons listening. In the meantime, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate everybody's time. Don't forget to click like. Clicking like is so helpful. Okay, click like, share, and consider, if you got some value from this video, subscribing. Thank you so very, very much. Have a blessed day, everybody. Take good care of yourself and your amazing family.